Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode Firefly number 3.
Woo!
Woo! A Star to Steer Her By, a Star Trek podcast, except right now because we're on shore leave. Finnegan's here, Kirk's old flame Ruth is around.
The White Rabbit.
It's been 3 years, 2 months, and an odd number of days since the last time they saw each other.
Oh, awesome. As our listeners will remember, this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
Jake.
This is Chris.
And I'm Justice.
And I'm Kelly.
What?
This might be too many people. We'll find out when we talk over each other.
We all get booze, at least.
Yeah.
I was gonna say...
Boo!
Jake is talking over us, but that's usual, so that's nothing different.
Eat
at least
shit.
So far. Wow, and he's being incredibly vulgar. That's
Super.
Also shocking.
Eat my shit.
Fist my butthole.
Just happy to be here.
That was my...
Kelly and Justice will not be sharing this episode themselves.
So what are our
We
episodes
beep all the sweaters.
this week, Ames?
This episodes are... We're on Firefly, the episodes Safe and Our Mrs. Reynolds, which are episodes 5 and 6, but in original airing, Safe... followed Shindig, but was actually the 7th episode, whilst Our Mrs. Reynolds was the 3rd. Is that right? No. I don't know. I can't read. Yeah, the 3rd.
Can't read your own graph.
It's a complicated graph.
It's
Fox
not-
really
Fox
threw things into a
fucked
blender.
things up.
Wait, now, is it actually Mrs. Reynolds, or was it Armis Reynolds? Because I assumed it was a
Mrs.
play on Armis Brooks.
It is a play on Our Miss Brooks, but it's Our Mrs. Reynolds because she becomes Mrs. Reynolds. But
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a minute.
I was wondering,
I'm gonna check, though, because I thought
is
it
this
said
like
Miss Reynolds
where
on the...
where Armis
Armis.
made some food and had leftovers,
so
so he
does.
put plastic wrap on it, and it was Armis's Reynolds.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
All right, so
Fuck.
tell us what happens in these episodes.
Actually, before we do that, Justice and Kelly haven't yet heard our first 2 Firefly
Oh, yeah,
episodes,
that's right.
which covered the first 4 episodes of Firefly. And I don't think we covered why the fuck we're doing this. Because I feel like our first 2 episodes, we were very hateful. and it actually made me very uncomfortable by the end. And I did a lot of hating myself by the end of those 2
What?
episodes.
No, why?
I don't know. I thought this would be a fun project, so I want to make sure that we're here to have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think that will help because our place here will help because Kelly and I both do greatly enjoy Firefly. It certainly hasn't aged as well as it possibly could have, say, if it were to have continued. Or and there are certainly problematic elements that exist now. But when Kelly and I first started dating, this was like one of the things we did together was we sat and we watched Firefly.
This
together.
is one of the ways I tricked him into being with me.
Yeah.
So
You're a smart lady.
I am a brown coat through and through. So
You're almost as devious as Mrs. Reynolds.
That's
Ooh,
right.
this is very true.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I don't know. There is trouble with Firefly, and it hasn't aged perfectly, but it does feel very comfortable to come back to a rewatch.
And it may also be one of those social stigmas where I think maybe Firefly has issues because Firefly fans kind of suck. Like, kind of the Bernie Sanders effect.
Yeah.
But...
Or the Star Trek effect
Or the Star
sometimes.
Trek
Yeah,
effect.
certainly.
I mean, all fandoms are being outdone by the Star Wars neckbeards nowadays.
What's wrong with Star Wars?
Oh, they were all just mad at Ryan Johnson.
Oh.
I mean, Ryan Johnson
he
didn't do a
did make
great
a
job.
shitty movie. So.
Yeah, but they're not mad at him for the right reasons.
Yeah.
It's like people who don't like Discovery not because they have actual problems with it. They're mad that there's a black woman and a gay man saying things.
What?
And Tilly isn't like rail thin. How fucking dare they?
I mean, there's other reasons to dislike Tilly.
Fuck you. Tilly is perfect. I will end you.
I have a list my arm's length long.
All right, but I
Tilly is Sonia Gomez Redux. Prove me wrong.
She's in
this
more
week
than
ago.
2 episodes.
Yeah, there's that.
Bam.
All right. But so I there's stuff I will gladly discuss about things that are wrong with Firefly, but I will absolutely tell you all the things I love about it. And I think especially with our Mrs. Reynolds, there's a lot to love about that episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into it.
Cool. Yeah. So we're talking about
Tell us about these episodes, Ames.
these episodes. The first is Safe. We are heading to Jiangyin, a backwater colony, to meet the Grange brothers, who are these people that they're trying to sell the cattle buyers. We'll all remember the cattle from Shindig, which we covered last week. Trying to get rid of all these fucking cattle that keep pooping all over the ship. It turns out, that the Grange brothers are not very reputable, and they end up, getting arrested in the middle of this sale. And Mal and crew are stuck trying to deal with this. Meanwhile, they did a stupid thing and let Simon and River into town.
Didn't just let them.
Idiots.
Forced them.
Mm-hmm. Idiots. Don't do that. They're fools. So they let them go into town. River wanders the fuck off. Simon gets in a fight with Kaylee. It's fucking, every fucking week with those two.
I feel like, though, this is the point where it starts to intensify and they have more, what the fuck did you say about me? Every week. Am I wrong about that? I could be.
I feel, yeah, you're probably right. And we'll see more and more of them doing their best, Daphne and Niles, as I said last week or 2 weeks ago at this point.
Oh my god, he is Niles.
I was thinking he was Daphne. Because she's the one who's, kind of lusting after him more openly.
Oh, yeah.
But,
But
at the
he's
same
so
time,
prim and...
Yeah, there's that, and she is much more capable and handles herself.
That's true.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Sorry,
this guy named Stark kidnaps the fuck out of Simon. River comes along and gets kidnapped voluntarily. God damn it, River. And they end up in this little miniature town thing. I forget if we learned the name of the town. No, I don't think we do. But we end up in this little town where they've stolen Simon to forcibly be their doctor. Because they need one of those, and they also need a crazy girl. I'm the town crazy girl.
Jordanville.
And they realize, okay, well, we'll help you out. But then River starts talking with this girl who's a mute and learns her backstory. And their new friend Doralee, the village teacher who runs the infirmary, says, "Oh my fucking god, she's a witch. Let's burn her at the stake." In the other side of the plot, when we ran away from this confrontation with the Grange brothers, Book had gotten himself shot, and they finally realized, okay, well, Book has some kind of magical that allows him to go to the Alliance doctors. He's going to be okay now.
It's an e-ticket.
So he gets himself healed up, they go back and save the Tams, and fly away, and everyone's back together. The end.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so I have only one real major problem with this episode. Mm-hmm. How the fuck did the townsfolk know he was a doctor?
Oh, yeah.
Was there a line? Did they call him doctor?
And his fancy
I think at some point he may have talked about it. It's
wherever he goes, he just heals everybody he walks by.
Yeah.
He has a passive AoE buff.
So he's there originally on the mission because they're like, "Oh, you're fancy. You're a fancy lad. We want you to pretend to be a buyer."
That's
Yeah,
not
that was a different
that's
episode.
Oh, it isn't?
That's a different episode.
That's next week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
Jesus.
the clay stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I completely forgot. Well, remember how we said
it's
we
easy
might
to
get
do.
things
It's
messed
easy.
up?
This is the one where him and Kaylee get into the fight inside
the
plate.
the
Because they're in
really
that shitty
tacky
gift shop.
Yeah.
gift shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe did they say he was a doctor there at all, and possibly the shopkeeper overheard, or
Could be. I
It's-
don't
yeah.
remember.
Oh, she may call him doctor or something like that.
oh maybe she's
That
talking
could be
to.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of
Would
what
really
I was
suck
getting
if he
at,
was
but I
like
in the wrong
a-
episode.
Yeah.
Like an astronomer or something.
Yeah.
My doctorate is in physics.
My thesis is on Lord Byron.
I was a poli-sci major. Oh no.
But yeah, there's something what I do like about this episode in comparison to the other episodes is it has a bit more balance between the Western and the science fiction aspects. It's a little bit heavier on Western than most of the other episodes get to.
Wait, what? I feel like every episode of this is only Western.
Really?
I don't get any science fiction in this show.
Well,
Really?
especially because they believe she's a witch. That's like the antithesis of science fiction.
That's the thing about this that I've realized about this show on this rewatch now is that, and this is not meant as a critique so much, it's just that it is literally, in my opinion, a Western set in space.
Yeah, that just happens to have
that, like,
space
and
equivalents
like,
of
I
everything.
honestly don't know, and I think I said this last time, like, I think you could take any one of these scripts and just do it in a Western setting, and you wouldn't even have to change the lines for the most part, except for their reference, where there's like a technobabble thing. But other than that, I think they're all very, very Western.
Or if you just assume that the ship is a steam train or
Yeah,
something.
it could be a train or like a,
Wagon.
a giant mechanical spider.
Giant mechanical
Is that a
spider.
Wild
Wild
West?
Wild West.
Wow.
Nice.
Is that's specifically the movie though, right?
Yes.
That's wild.
Ah.
Whoops, Wild Wild West, right? Yeah.
Actually, when I was watching this episode, and I think the one thing that they do a pretty good job, because I'll be the first to hate on River any second of any day.
Oh my god, yes.
I think it was one of the first things you said in the first episode was how much you hated River.
She's a plot point waiting to happen, basically. And in this episode, we see a little bit of the backstory. We see a little bit of when she was taken for these gifted classes, wherever the fuck it is they sent.
yeah, and their shitty parents.
And their parents are dicks.
But fun fact, the boy playing young Simon is Zac Efron in his first television appearance.
He was more insufferable than young River.
Oh.
Yeah.
They did a good job though. He looked a lot, I thought, like Simon.
Yeah.
The
Like
actor
you could definitely
playing,
see.
The actor playing the Father Tam, his name is Lord Cuntington.
Of the Abington Cuntingtons?
Actually, that was just also Zac Efron. It was an excellent makeup.
Yeah. Boy, the range on that kid. Yes, you were saying.
No. And then I actually kind of like to see that little backstory happening, because it reminds you that, yes, there is some sci-fi elements. Like, whatever is happening with her, like, they're tampering with like her behaviors, and we later learn her brain and all this stuff, and the way that she gets this information to Simon is quite ingenious. I end up hating her when we meet her, but if this is what we learn was what was happening, like, it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, and this is kind of one of a few times I think on the show when they do flashbacks for a character to get some backstory.
I bet we see a lot of it next week.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised because we definitely knew about this school situation, but it sounds something though about this that's interesting, right? So we're told up to this point, River is just a girl
Wesley.
She's just like a girl nutcase, right? Like she's an albatross on this ship. But now, evidently, she has mind-reading powers.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is an
Which
interesting
now
development.
now they have to remember every single time they write her that, and I'm going to talk about this in our Mrs. Reynolds, that they have to make sure, like, oh, right, River is here. She can read fucking minds. She can see the future and read fucking minds, and just has every superpower there is. She can turn invisible.
Okay, but can she mind meld with the ship?
She's a Vulcan.
And here's the thing.
She's the Vulcan of the show. They
she
give
could-
her a new power every week.
She could always just have Troy version of psychic powers.
But then
which
she'd
is-
be useless.
I was saying they just don't work when the plot needs them to not work.
And she'd only say one thing, which is, I'm an empath, on repeat all the fucking time.
It's probably better than some of the weird crap they have her babble.
They do give her some weird babble. I agree.
But yeah, they do kind of give River some of that plot faultiness of powers as well. But yeah, but this is really the first time we see her do anything like sort of out of the ordinary, other than like kick ass.
Yeah.
And it might also be like, and you kind of see this later on, that this kind of thing might come and go. You know, just like her sanity kind of comes and goes in waves.
Yeah, she's a
this
real Cassandra.
power itself might not necessarily be something she can actively focus on.
What was the original order that this one aired in?
7th. So this would have
so
been
later than it actually aired.
Yeah, like way later.
Which I wonder, that makes me wonder, were any of the episodes that aired before this one establishing that she has special powers.
Well, before this one, we would have seen our Mrs. Reynolds, which we're seeing after this.
She doesn't have powers in that.
Jamestown and Out of Gas, which we're doing next week.
She doesn't have powers in any of those.
Yeah.
And then Shindig, which naturally comes before this episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow, that must have been really confusing.
I
They've
don't
got
know why-
more cows.
I don't know why they did it, because, I mean, sure, most of the episodes, there's not a big progression. I think the only progression that we actually do see is just how much the other one, Kaylee. Kaylee and Simon make googly eyes at each other,
Yeah.
and the googly eyes get bigger and bigger and bigger every week, until you want to just punch them out of their fucking heads.
It would have been kind of funny if during the course of the filming, like, someone had been, like, growing a beard or something. Just so that it would be, like, all over the place in the original airing.
So we learned a lot about River.
I liked her with the
this week.
cows.
Yeah, she could speak to cows.
That was kind of cute. They weren't cows before, but now that they see the sky, they remember who they are.
Aw.
I thought that was cute.
Why
we
can't we do little things like Dr. Dolittle?
We also learned some interesting stuff about, or potentially, we get some hints dropped about Shepherd Brook.
Yeah.
And how...
I'm sure it'll be examined more in seasons 2 and 3.
Well, what's interesting, right, is that they've, ever since, right from the beginning, they, like, because he took down that FBI guy.
That's right,
Yeah.
he did.
And, he, like, people keep making remarks like, oh, that, you know an awful lot for a preacher.
What's a preacher doing on a ship full of criminals?
And then in this one, like, the douchey Alliance guy is just about like, yeah, fuck off with your dying man. And then, like, he shows him his ID card. He's like, get this man a doctor.
He has really good insurance.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. Or maybe there's more.
Yeah. But it's this one of the saddest parts of the series is all of those like potential things that were never really explored.
Right.
Yeah.
That there's apparently a comic called The Shepherd's Tale that examines more of what happened to him, but like that's so much of what my problem with Firefly is, so much wasted potential. Like with a lot of Joss Whedon shows, there tends to be more focus in a lot of the series. Like I'm a huge Buffy fan. And, like, the first season is really well focused on there's one older vampire called the Master, and everything that Buffy's doing is to help prevent him from coming back and taking over the world. And there's a lot less focus in Firefly. And I don't know if it's because of production or the way things worked out, but it seems a lot less focused, but that there's so much, like, table setting for other things like that.
Yeah, and we're technically, as we said, like, this is the third episode like that was aired, so it's still kind of expositorying what this show even is.
And I believe
Wait, this
actually
is the third episode?
That's what I said.
It's the third aired episode.
It's the fifth,
I thought you said
but
it was the
the
seventh
third
episode.
aired.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking
seventh.
Our Mrs. Reynolds, which you're doing right after this.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, okay, yeah, so... But yeah, either way, there's all of this table setting that just never... Lots of plates, no food.
Lots of Chekhov's guns in
Yeah.
the third act.
Yeah, but I also remember reading a quote from Joss Whedon in like an article a really long time ago about how the Firefly was being filmed at the same time as the 7th season of Buffy, and at the same time as like the 3rd or 4th season of Angel.
I think the third
So
season
he was
is-
trying to work on.
Did they do what they did with TNG and DS9 and split their writers?
I'm not sure,
Nope,
but
they
it
just hooked Joss Whedon up to a permanent IV of caffeine and said, "Right, monkey."
Yeah, and I mean, what's his name? Malcolm Reynolds.
Nathan
I was
Fillion.
going to say Nolan North, and I was like, no, that they make Nolan North look like Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion is one
It's a
of
good
the.
look.
He's a part of the team of the Big Bad in Buffy season 7, and then Gina Torres. What's her name?
Zoe?
Zoe, yes.
Yes.
She is. She shows up on Angel as the Big Bad in the final season, or I think that's right. Maybe the season before the final season.
yeah, I think it's the season before.
So yeah, like certainly brings a like he definitely wanted to keep working with these people. Yeah.
Yeah, I read a good quote by Joss Whedon when he was pitching this series, and he pitched it as, quote, 9 people looking into the blackness of space and seeing 9 different things. Which, yeah, is a little bit disparate, because all the characters, like, you wonder, like, what the fuck are these people doing together? They're all so very different.
Yeah.
Why is Jane here? We'll talk about this next week.
Yeah.
Why is Jane fucking here?
Why is Jane still here?
Yeah.
Why is Adam Baldwin a thing?
That is an excellent.
He was good at that character.
He was great in that character. He was fun on Chuck. He's such a dickhole.
Yeah.
Well, it's because this isn't really a character. This is just his true,
Yeah.
true form.
He was in Full Metal Jacket too, wasn't he?
Don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was. I think he was one of in the second half.
I've never seen Full Metal
The
Jacket.
lesser half of Full Metal Jacket.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
The first half's a great movie. The second half's an okay movie.
And I will say, out of all of the episodes of Firefly, Safe is probably my least favorite.
It's the
or it's
most
very
safe.
close to the bottom.
What about the one with the dude in the coffin?
Oh, the message? I like the message.
Which will be discussed in a few weeks,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
That's a boring show.
Spoilers.
Oh, you know what? It is one of the better acted ones, I think. Also, there's a story about that one, which we'll tell. We will tell you so that you can tell on the podcast.
Oh shit. Okay, so Jake, you were correct. Adam Baldwin is in Full Metal Jacket, but so is Matthew Modine.
Oh,
Who's that?
He's somebody that none of us knew, but he was almost cast as somebody. I think in one of the movies.
Yeah, I remember the name coming up and being like,
Yeah,
do I
none of
really
us knew who
recognize
he
this name?
was.
Because I recognize it, but I don't remember
But he was
why.
up for some kind of Star Trek thing once.
Yeah, he has a very he has a one of those looks that he's kind of generic, but you'll recognize him when you see him and stuff.
Right.
He's good. I like Matthew Modine.
But he was the lead. He was Joker.
Oh, okay.
Oh. I also like Star Wars.
All right,
You
great.
didn't.
Yeah, Safe. There's not too much to say.
Yeah, I mean, jumping to the end when they happen to get saved in the middle of getting burned alive.
Yeah.
Also, Simon was not tied to the stake. The second it got mildly warm, he would have bolted.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly enough, this is kind of a story reused from Buffy, where a similar thing happens, and it's one of my least favorite episodes of Buffy.
Is that the Hansel and Gretel one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the town turns against Willow.
Yeah.
And they're burning at the stake again.
I
Yeah.
was hoping
But
to say
it's very recycled as a plot line, I think.
Wow.
they kidnapped Seth Green because they needed his.
Werewolf.
Is Seth Green in Buffy?
He is. He is for 2 full seasons.
He's a
Okay,
werewolf.
so
I didn't know
here's
he
the
was a
thing.
werewolf.
That is the only cell that I ever would have needed to watch that show, and no one's given it to me till now.
Well, Buffy is truly fantastic. I like it. The first season is a little rough to get through because it's aged pretty, and it's just.
Is it as rough as the first season of TNG?
No, it is not as rough as the first season of
But
TNG.
here's the thing. I don't have a podcast about Buffy, so I don't have to watch Buffy, but I had to watch the first season of TNG.
Okay.
And I've also heard that it's like the first couple of seasons that are really hard to get through.
I would say...
Which when someone says to you, hey, there's this 7-season
No,
long or
second
whatever...
season and third season are great.
The third season has the best big bad. This is not Firefly, but we're okay. The third season
Amy does not agree.
I know. I'm trying to see where we are in the clock. We're fine. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so the third season of Buffy has the best big bad, has some of the best character building, and really does just a lot of great stuff in 22 episodes, and it's a lot of fun. I cannot stress how much I like the third season of Buffy.
Okay.
So
That's fair.
And the second season is when they introduce Spike, and Spike is wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Spike the bleach blonde vampire?
Yeah.
Is that the element that doesn't age well? Because
No.
does that?
Spike ages perfectly fine.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, there is nothing wrong with James Marsters on Buffy, and he is still a handsome man.
Awesome. So back to the burning at the stake.
Right.
Why does Mal come back for them when he left?
To show that
'Cause
he's
he's
a
part of the
hooker with
crew.
a heart
Yeah.
of gold.
Because he's a good
Yeah,
guy.
but he left them to die.
No, he
Well,
left
He
them.
left them
Because-
to live for Book,
Yeah,
not necessarily...
It was to save Book, not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they got the doctor could have saved Book.
Yeah,
But
But they couldn't find him.
Yeah,
they
they-
sent
'cause
they
remember,
sent
Wash-
Wash into the town to find him.
Vashbath?
Vosh.
I for some reason always
Have we
wanted
already
to call him
waxed
that.
poetic about how much we love Alan Tudyk?
Yes,
Yeah. I
certainly
but do
have.
it again. Go for it.
Good God, I love Alan Tudyk.
He's
Me
lovely.
too.
That's,
Also,
I mean,
without Justice's glasses, doesn't he look a little like Alan Tudyk?
He does.
oh my God, we're all going to die?
Who's piloting the ship? Oh, right, me.
I preferred when you were a pirate.
Yeah, well, I can dodge a ball. Yeah, Alan Tudyk, boy, God, what What a talent. Anyway, we'll talk. We're going to talk about.
We should have an Alan Tudyk podcast.
I was just going to say, I think Justice is about to start an Alan Tudyk appreciation
Also, we
podcast.
did
The
review
first movie I
Rogue
ever
One that had...
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
K2.
The first movie I ever saw him in was 28 Days, and he was playing like a gay sex addict, and
Yeah.
I still fucking was in love with him. I was like, oh my god, have my babies.
He is so good.
He's amazing.
I mean, just from Moana, he's wonderful.
Oh, I
still haven't
he
seen
he
Moana.
is the chicken in Moana.
Was it Lele
boy.
or something? What's it called?
Hey, hey.
Hey,
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie
Talk
yet.
about typecasting.
You're right, he is just a giant chicken.
He's
who
also-
stars in films.
The merchant in Frozen, right?
I believe that's right.
Like, I think he's been in all three of the sort of latter-day CG, non-Pixar Disney movies.
Yeah, he's also in...
Alan Tudyk of the latter-day CGs.
He's also the king from...
no,
Ralph.
he's Weasel.
Ralph.
He's Weaselton in Frozen.
Yeah, the merchant.
Yeah, okay, is he a merchant? I don't know, I just remember that's his name.
But yeah, boy,
Weaselton.
let's just go over Alan Tudyk's IMDb for a
I
little
ain't
while.
seen Frozen.
I'm
Because
for that.
Frozen's okay. Like, you can hear the songs multiple times and it's not terrible. It's just that when you're a parent and you have to hear them repeatedly,
It is...
day in, day out, that you can be driven insane.
It just didn't hit the hype, that's all.
It's
Yeah.
a technical marvel. I remember what actually got me interested in it wasn't any of its trailers. It was a video. Disney actually has a whole YouTube channel dedicated to tech they're fucking with. And around the time it was due to come out, it was just a little thing showing off the snow tech they were developing to like render snow and have it behave like it should.
Like blowing in drifts and
Yeah, and like building up if
sparkling
you
in
kind
the
of
sun.
yeah, and like how it builds up if you kind of push it and this and that. And I saw that and was like, I gotta see this movie.
Also, Jonathan Groff, Santino, what's his name, is fantastic. And Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell,
Yeah.
great.
I love
Is
Kristen Bell.
Olaf the Snowman insufferable?
Yeah.
I don't care for him.
Okay.
He's there have been far
Who's Kristen
worse.
Bell play?
Kristen Bell is
Elsa.
Do
you like fun?
No, she's Anna.
No, I
You'll
don't like
fucking
fun.
hate
God
Olaf.
damn it, Olaf!
No, I think, but as far as Olaf goes, like yeah, he's a
Olaf.
Disney
I do
comedy
like Kristen
sidekick.
Bell.
Yeah.
Sebastian does it better.
But there's
Oh, well, yeah,
Well, I was
except for
gonna
the
say,
racism, but yes.
there are far more annoying
Name one.
the gargoyles in.
Oh, yep.
I never saw that either.
Oh, that's a great movie aside from the gargoyles.
Okay, the key to it is that most of the
Sorry about that.
sidekick animals like didn't talk. Like anyway, but
Yeah,
Alan
so anyway,
Tudyk,
now we're
Alan
on
Tudyk
Disney,
is
Jesus.
a treasure.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we got
Josh
here.
Gad is less of a treasure because of Olaf, but most of the time I like Josh Gad.
Although, as we said,
He's got a good voice. His song is well done.
Yeah,
But-
he's like when you look at him, you're like, wow, I can't believe that you have such a beautiful voice.
I don't know what he looks like, but I'll take your word for it.
he kind of looks like he should be the voice of Olaf.
Yeah,
He's a snowman.
I wouldn't be I'm surprised you haven't seen Josh Gad like if in something else.
Oh, wait a minute. He was LeFou in the live
Yes.
action.
Yes, he was.
Okay, then I've seen him.
Yeah.
So the funny part, though, is again we haven't aired the first episode at this time as recording, but we did establish, this is Fox, which means they're owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all come full circle.
So Nathan Fillion is a Disney princess?
No, we established that Nara was.
Oh.
Haley should be a Disney princess.
But
Virtually
Haley
yes.
should be.
Haley's
Disney
cute.
princess. I love Jewel State. She is
Yeah,
so
she's
charming.
good. She's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like her and Simon. That was it would have been a terrible gift no matter what. If she bought that fucking plate for him.
Yeah, hideous plate.
Bad plate.
Yeah.
Should have got the wooden duck.
And Kaylee learned a lesson today, and that's to just forget about the doctor, but she won't because he's
Oh
cute.
man, we almost had a freaking brawl at what was it, Space Station K7
What?
situation when
When
Like
they
Tribbles?
drop off a book.
when
Oh,
When
someone
they're-
called
when-
Firefly a piece
they're
of
in the
junk.
Yeah.
store and what was it? Simon's like,
Yeah.
I didn't say that Serenity was Gosa. I said it should be hauled away as Gosa.
And Kaylee was like, laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that?
I mean, let's be
No, it
honest.
should be hauling Gosa. That's what it is.
Serenity is Gosa.
I mean, we find that out also. We're going to talk about that next week. How much of a shitbox it is.
I
Nice.
know, but it's nice.
Hey, but those are reliable. Let's talk about Artemis Reynolds.
No,
then.
I have one more note, and that's that River is what would have happened if they downloaded that paradox into the Borg. Because it just would have broken their brilliant minds.
Was this the episode where she was doing the dancing?
Yes.
I liked the dancing. It was nice to just see her having fun, but I was also like, how do you know this dance? But it's apparently because she's a mind reader.
she
weird
watched a
upskirt
couple
shots
steps.
during
Yeah,
that
that's true. It
dance
was a little
sequence.
fan-servicey, but I just thought it was kind of nice to, like, see her, like... Because you get the impression that she's, like, a young school-aged person. Like, she's probably in high school
Black
or
Spanx.
something.
17.
And you're like, wow, look, she's, like, having a nice time, like the young people do. And that was, like, sort of a...
It's like when Elizabeth gets out of the tower in Bioshock Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
Does she go dancing with commoners?
Does she
She does.
wear Spanx?
Oh, I forgot.
We don't know. There's no upskirt of her.
Oh,
happily.
well, that's ruined.
Shocking.
Okay.
More unsafe? We're done with safe?
I think we're done with
We're
safe.
ready
We're
to
done.
get unsafe here?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get unsafe with Mrs. Reynolds.
Let's get
Oh,
dangerous.
yeah.
Giggity.
Like, from a kind of, like,
I
not,
have to
not whole
synopsize
much,
first.
yeah.
So
Yeah, wait, let her
Yeah.
describe
Let me
the...
do her thing.
Oh, let's go.
cut everything just
Calm
to
down,
six.
white man.
Nope.
Humana.
Yes. So, in our Mrs. Reynolds, we are on some manner of planet, town, place.
Another fucking backwater shocking.
Yeah, basically, when we're celebrating, like Mal is doing some kind of a deal, everything is going well, they're throwing a big party next to some corpses, don't know why.
Where do you hold your parties?
Yes.
That's just
Salem,
their
so it's
funereal rites on that planet.
That could be.
That's
but it's
also
not
true.
only funereal rites, it's also matrimonial rites.
Ooh,
Because
yeah, 4 funerals
Mal-
and a wedding.
Mal learns.
Oh my god! Title for this week's episode.
Yeah,
Could be.
that's good.
Mal learns that, oh no, because he drank from a bottle, accepted a laurel wreath, and danced with a pretty lady, he is now married to said pretty lady because their backward culture has that as a rule. And I guess their person he was doing the deal with, like, made that, like, put her in with the deal so that Mal could be happy about the deal.
Well, I think it's because he was out of money. I think it was because
Yeah,
he
they
couldn't
were
pay her in
poor.
full, so it was like, hey, how about a girl?
Yeah, I'll accept
And
that.
Mal was like, I'm drunk as fuck, why not?
Yeah, will these laurel wreaths come with it? Yeah, I'll take it. So we meet Mal's new wife, Saffron, who is very pretty, and she's hanging out on the ship with everyone, and everyone's making so many jokes at this girl's expense right in front of her, and it gets very uncomfortable and sad.
Yeah, they really treat her like worse than the cattle that
They
were on
treat
the
her like
ship.
the property. Like, Jane offers to buy her off of Mal.
For a nice gun, though.
His favorite gun.
Vera.
I mean, they did the same thing with Simon, though. I mean, not as badly, but I mean, they're definitely, like, jerks to newcomers.
There's a
Yeah.
hazing.
Yeah, we'll see
process.
more being jerks next week too, I believe. They're just jerks to everyone. But, so yeah, we have Saffron on board. We're trying to figure out, okay, how about we go to the next planet over and we'll pawn you off on them and you can not be on the ship because it's weird that you're here and it's making everyone uncomfortable and Jane very, very horny.
Making everybody horny.
I'll be in my mug.
Wash keeps it in his pants.
Was that this episode? I
think
missed
so.
him say it. Son of a bitch.
No. it's
I'll be
the
in
one
holodeck
where
4.
Inara has the lady.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
right.
Okay, so it didn't happen.
Probably
Okay,
in the
good.
future or the past. I can't keep track of that.
I don't think
timeline.
it's
Yeah, the
happened
timeline
yet.
is messed up.
That I think is it's later. I think that might be Heart of Gold.
I don't remember.
Heart
I don't know.
of
I don't know
gold.
which
No,
ones
it's
are
not her.
which.
It's- Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Good name for a
We'll get there.
spaceship.
Cut all this. This is chaos.
We'll see.
Yeah, so in the meantime, Saffron has, made Mal a nice meal. She's hanging out with everybody. And Inara and is comfortable with it. And Book basically tells Mal, don't fuck the girl. That's very, very wrong. And Mal's
Special
like,
hell.
wasn't gonna do it.
As bad as people who talk
Who
at
is
the
Book
theater.
anyway, though? I mean, it is a legal marriage. He himself
This is
saw
why I
it.
never get through this.
Yeah, really. He's the one who backed it up. Was
Man.
like, I saw it happen, idiot.
A special hell.
So when Mal goes down to his quarters and she's there, naked, in his bed, asking about, oh, I guess it's our marital night, let's do the thing. And he's like, nope, we shouldn't do the thing. And she puts on this pity story about, oh, it's my life's work, my life's dream to do the thing, and please let you be the one that does
Let
the
me
thing
have
to me.
my wedding night.
Yeah, and Mal's like, well, maybe, because you're here naked and purty. And when she kisses him, he gets knocked out because she put something on her lips because she's actually this brilliant con artist. Thank God, because otherwise this was going to be really, really weird.
Oh, it was so uncomfortable until the twist.
And then she goes up and she tries to seduce Wash, but Wash won't do it because he's married. And no other reason. Not like it's wrong or anything. God, Okay.
Nope, he literally is like, I wish I was anybody else who wasn't married right now. And
Yep.
it's like, wow.
I will just take advantage of you 9 times over, but yep, great. Not because of Zoe. But instead she just punches Wash out, which, has the same exact outcome, so that's all fine.
Dude, she kicked his face into a door jamb. It's fucking horribly violent. I was like, holy shit.
Nice.
He's dead. What did you do?
So in the middle of trying to hijack the ship, Saffron runs into Inara, and Inara realizes, you're not as you seem. She's like, oh, I just want to do this thing. Do-do-do. I'm Mrs. Reynolds' widow. And she says, oh no, that means Mal must be dead. And she goes to go check on Mal, and she kisses his stupid mouth, and then she passes out. Don't know why we needed that, but alright, we did.
There was jokes later about it.
Comedy gold.
Yeah,
They
over
needed
and
it for the
over
jokes.
again. Over and over again. Oh, when I fell.
Right.
So Saffron...
Yeah. Well, I chalk that up to the actor.
I mean,
Her
she's
delivery
not
was
great.
very unconvincing.
She was...
It's like the director was like, pretend that you're lying.
Can we get to this in 10 minutes? I have
It's on the green.
I have
Fine.
a minute left of bullshit to
Get
say.
it, girl.
So Saffron hijacks the ship, sends it towards this special electric net, where she's, in partnership with some men who run this giant net, where if a ship goes through it, it'll either destroy the ship, or everyone on the ship will pass out, or something, but then they get to keep the ship themselves and scrap it for parts.
It's like a baryon sweep, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
It kills everybody on it.
Yeah, unless you're Picard, but in good taste, you're fine. So,
And River, because she's a Vulcan and isn't susceptible to electrics or something.
yeah, she's a Vulcan.
Yeah.
Saffron escapes. Everyone else wakes up, figures out, oh no, the ruse. They send Jane out with his giant gun, Vera, his favorite gun, to shoot this electric net until it doesn't zap them.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Remind me that I have a question about that later.
Nope.
Okay, fair enough.
take notes. It works. They don't get zapped. The people who are running the net get fucking spacewalked without suits. Sorry, guys. You're just trying to make a living.
Via murder.
It's fine.
Crime doesn't pay.
Yeah, geez, Birkenhair. I'm sorry about your life.
So they've saved the ship. They do all the things. They track down where Saffron went, and Mal confronts her and is like, haha, I actually survived. What do you think about that? She's like, oh, I like that very much. He says, nope, what am I into this? And punches her out and leaves. End of episode.
Speaking of, we're able to make it really uncomfortable again at the end.
Boy,
We just
oy,
fucking
oy.
cold clocks her. I was like, Jesus.
That's all right.
Now, before we
Kirk
start,
does it.
I brought everybody a thing.
Different time.
Okay.
Oh, is there like worksheets?
We
What
have.
is this?
I
Is it a
have.
script?
I have a deleted scene from this episode.
Oh,
I get
I
to
know
play?
what this
Mal,
is.
Mal.
I know what
Who
this
do I get
is.
to play? Who do I get to
Mal, you want to pick either? I'll let you and Kelly pick between River and Saffron.
I don't want River.
I'll be
Saffron
Saffron.
it
Why
is.
not? I like Christina Hendricks.
No, I said I didn't want to be River. Damn it. I'm River.
All right. Do I have a Simon?
Oh wait, you
Okay.
did want.
And
Christina
do I have
okay.
a book?
I got it.
A
It's
book.
fine.
I want
book.
to be Jane.
So, River does not have any scenes in this episode, which means this episode is great. But that's because this scene of River was cut. And
Oh, I hate
apparently it's one of Joss Whedon's and the crew's and the cast favorite scenes, but they cut it, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But let's read it first because I think it's ridiculous, and I'll read the stage directions
All
for
right.
everyone.
I'm book.
You can be booked.
Oh, God.
This is horrible.
This is exactly...
Well, let's read it.
Oh, I'm not reading ahead. I'm
All right.
Yeah, read it with us.
Interior room.
Cold read.
Passenger dorm. Later than a different scene that had already happened. It's fine. Book is making up a room for Saffron, making the bed. He finishes smoothing it out, admiring his work. We hold a still, wide frame as River enters and pulls the bed apart quickly and calmly and exits again, taking the pillow. Book sighs and starts out after River. Simon is coming the other way, interrupts River. She takes him by the hand and turns back to Book.
What's going on?
Seems River doesn't want me making up a bed for our young guests. Or she's starting a pillow collection. I'm still collecting data.
I'm sorry, I'll take care of the room.
It's not important. Tell him.
Tell him what?
We want you to marry us.
What? No, what?
2 by 2. Everyone has a mate, a match, a doppel. I love you.
No, River, random Chinese that I refuse to butcher. Of course, I love you too, but we can't be married. She's really crazy.
Kick!
Owie! I don't mean crazy. That's just not something brothers and sisters do. I mean, on some planets, but only pretty bad ones.
The captain took a wife.
Well, this is also complicated. I don't know where this is coming from.
We'll take care of each other. I'll knit. You don't love me.
Mal enters with Saffron.
What's going on?
I really couldn't say.
I was going to show Saffron her quarters. Did they get squared away?
Once upon a time.
I don't really need anything. I'm really just fine.
You're a thief.
Slight beat as Saffron recoils from River's accusation. Book notices this. Notices that she shrinks a bit from Mal, who puts a protective hand on her back.
Well, let's play nice here. Your sister's got some funny notions.
That's not untrue.
I'm sorry.
They all turn to Saffron, surprised, and she pulls a packet of food from her dress pocket. River responds by stuffing her pillow under her shirt.
I didn't know when I was to be fed, and I was afraid.
You made that fine meal, didn't eat nothing yourself?
That was for you. Weren't but pot lickings left, so I took this for later. I didn't know she saw me.
Didn't see you.
Well, there's certainly no harm done.
And I'd say there is. Good deal of harm, and it's starting to tick me off.
Saffron is frightened, and Mal turns her to him.
Now, I got no use for people sneaking around taking what ain't theirs.
Yes, we frown on that here.
But what I got even less use for is a woman who won't stand up for herself. 5 days hence, we're putting you in the world, and you won't last a day by bowing and sniffing for handouts. You want something, you take it or ask for it. You don't wait to be told when to breathe. You don't take orders from anyone, except me, and that's just because I'm the captain. And people take orders from captains even in the world. But for the rest, damn it, be like a woman is. Not no petrified child. There's more than 70 little Earths spinning about the galaxy, and the meek have inherited not a one. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I do.
He tosses the food back to her and looks to Book.
Shepard, would you show Saffron her room, please?
Mal exits. Book leads Saffron the other way. Simon is left with the pillow-bellied River.
Now we have to be married. I'm in the family way.
Simon cannot think of a response. End scene.
Womp womp.
Why would they cut that?
So the thing is like, I felt super like, at the end of the last episode, that they were really creepily incestuous and
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna throw
That's a
myself in this
running
pyre
theme
with
throughout
you.
the show.
Yeah, but that's like the worst of
Yeah.
it it's so far. I don't remember if it gets worse later, but like for me, I was watching it and I was just like, isn't this all a little extreme? I mean, I know you love each other, but
Hey, he left so much behind for her. I understand.
yeah.
Are we saying that he's like friend zoned by his sister?
Well, clearly not. She's in a family way.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I also hate the term family way.
Yeah, it's weird. So, speaking of our guest actor, though, I read a thing a few weeks ago. Apparently, Christina Hendricks is on the poster for American Beauty.
That's right. She's
It's-
the hand.
She's just the hand. It's some other person's stomach, but it's her hand.
Did they Photoshop it, or did they just actually
No,
have her
it's-
hand on a
Does
woman's
she just
stomach?
have great hands?
It's so zoomed in,
Yeah.
you just can't tell. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
it's just a picture of a hand.
on a stomach.
Why couldn't they have put her titties on the American
But like,
Beauty
but
poster?
she wasn't
Well,
in
because
that
they were
movie,
already
was
in
No.
Firefly.
Why then what?
Fair.
Yeah.
Maybe was she like a hand model at some point?
I don't
guess so.
know. Yeah.
She has nice hands.
She has great hands.
Yeah.
She's got lots of great attributes.
Yeah, boy, Christina Hendricks, lots of talent, and it's clear. This is one of the first things I saw her in, and she does a knockout job in this episode. But
Yeah, I remember the first time watching Mad Men and being like, oh, it's Saffron.
yeah.
So the whole thing was a grift from the start, clearly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
She
what?
probably never was even in. They're supposed to be like a package from that town.
Definitely not.
She probably never even knew that man.
Which is interesting because she was at the party and no one would be like, "Who's that lady?"
You know, a big enough party, you just sort of fall into it.
Maybe like the villagers thought that she belonged to the ship, and the ship thought she belonged to the villagers.
She's like a professional seducer.
Yeah.
She's just using that power for wedding crashing or whatever.
So at the top of the show, very top, you're treated to this wonderful scene of Jane and Mal riding in a carriage.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mal's dressed
K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
as a lady,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and they get jumped by some highwaymen, and then they end up shooting them.
Were the highwaymen the mark, though? Like, were they dealing with them as part of the deal?
No, I think
Or was it
so.
just
The
unrelated?
implication was that these highwaymen had been hijacking all manner of goods that had been heading into the town.
Right.
So our crew was hired specifically to deal with these guys.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And Zoe had a great leap out of that carriage.
Yeah, it was a fine leap. One giant leap.
I thought it was interesting that Zoe wasn't playing the woman.
That's what she said too.
They referenced that in dialogue. I think it was
because I need you in the back.
Or someone that said it. Yeah, but again, I don't know. It seemed like it might have just been a way to get a cheap joke in there.
Play for laughs, yeah.
Ultimately, because I feel like Mal could have very easily been on the back. Or Jane, the guy with all the guns who's really good at shooting stuff.
So many guns.
Maybe it was some kind of weird attempt at, chivalry, of being, not putting her directly in the danger until she's directly into danger, even though that's, sort of always her role.
Yeah.
That's kind of her job, is, to be the person in danger.
Maybe, I don't know.
Anywho.
I got nothing.
But regardless, this is a brief scene.
It's there to be funny.
I'll allow it.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, because then we get Mel talking about it's so nice wearing a dress. How would you know?
And I swear by my pretty flowery bonnet or whatever the fuck he says.
It would have been brilliant if they had him wearing Kaylee's dress from Shindig.
Oh my
that would have been awesome.
But inappropriate.
That's a party dress, not a traveling dress.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
so are we just led to believe that the crew just has Mal-sized women's
maybe they got it from the village they were working for.
Maybe.
Also, I object. They could have been on their way to a cotillion. You don't know.
I also can't imagine her giving him that dress for the...
I also don't know if they actually bought it. Did they buy it or did they rent it?
No.
That's right, because she puts it in the... Yeah, she puts it up in her room. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But yeah, the town's a little shithole.
Yeah, Jane buys a rain stick.
Yeah, Jane gets a rain stick, which he seems to really appreciate in the moment, but then later calls it, implies that it's not a good gift.
I mean, compared to a woman, I suppose.
Yeah, or a plate from, last episode.
Yeah. That's just only because the old man didn't show him the other uses of a rain stick.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was just going to say, you can't fuck a rain stick, but then I remembered, I'm sure you can. Yeah. Somehow.
Someone has done it.
That is a...
And then
you gotta train up to that
keeps making that noise, too.
Yeah. You just roll over and you get a nice little vibrating.
Have we found the person who's done it?
But yeah. This is Christina Hendricks' episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does, she gets all the scenes, she gets all the fun.
Yeah, I love the scene with her and Inara, too.
Yeah.
I think that's just the high point of
where they're feeling them out and, clearly, playing their own little game.
Yeah.
And then when they acknowledge it, too, is really cute, and I think that's a fun moment.
Wow, you're good. Oh, where did you study or whatever? Yeah, who are you?
And now I must kill you.
Yeah.
But
Malcolm Reynolds' widow.
Yeah, that's a little over the top.
Yeah. That bit is a bit much, but it does justify Inara giving him the kiss, and then be like, "Oh, fucking goddamn it!" Passing out.
Never needed their relationship. I never needed any of the relationships except Zoe and Wash because they're lovely.
Yeah, boy, that's the best TV couple. Just. So yeah, we are already great. We're always going to be great, and I'm going to be an idiot sometimes.
Yeah, and
they're
both so independent too. They're both specifically their own characters. They don't do that thing that I see in some people where they just kind of just become dependent on the other.
They're super defined by the other person.
Yeah.
Well, the scene in this episode when Saffron's being really servile and
making the food. May I wash your feet? Ooh.
And Wash and Zoe comes in and she's just giving Wash the stink eye the whole time.
Doesn't your wife cook for you or serve you or
But
whatever?
I feel like Wash didn't really earn that stink eye. He's just getting it by proxy.
Yeah. Well, he didn't do anything. She just asked him a question. It's like, But he doesn't sort of help himself either because he's kind of like, have you met her? No.
Yeah.
You ever been with a warrior woman?
Talk about those legs.
You see the way she dresses?
Yeah.
But Saffron, Christina Hendricks did an awesome job.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so uncomfortable watching that very first scene where everyone piles in and says, "Oh, what's going on with Mal and his wife? Let's just keep making fun of this fact while she's crying until only Inara seems to care."
Well, I mean, it's I think that was sort of the idea.
Yeah, but they're such jerks.
Space jerks.
There's a stranger on your ship. You don't know, if she is safe from you or if you are safe from her. Like, it's just... They're jerks. They're absolute jerks and they're idiots.
I almost saw it as like a form of entertainment for them. I mean, there's no like TV on the ship as far as we know. Or
some
movies.
people juggle geese.
Yeah, and it's like they love to riff on the visitors of the boat, you know, the ship, and
well, but I think in this case they're actually really making fun of Mal.
Yeah,
like I think
it's really about
think
Mal.
that she's like sort of the butt of the joke. It's almost like they don't even. Like, they're not even considering her feelings because they're mostly just breaking his balls, you know?
True that.
Yeah, how often does he do something that's worth breaking his balls over?
Probably
Every
all the
week.
time.
Yeah, actually, he does get a lot of the ball busting, but you know,
but then he always has a sassy comeback, and then you look like a fool.
Yeah, he's good at handling it, but I think he has to handle it on her behalf too, and he's a little not necessarily prepared for that. So he gets but you know that's sort of the job of being the boss is to handle the ball busting. If you want to run a good ship, I think. Yeah.
I also think there was some interesting convenience aspects in this plot. For one,
Jane had an awesome gun to trade for a girl.
Jane did have an awesome gun. No, but like right when they find Saffron, we're like, okay, well, let's take her back to her planet where she came from.
Yeah, why don't they again?
Because one of the people in the road gang that they killed is politically connected.
Oh, whoops.
So it's somebody's nephew or son or something. So they can't go back because it's too hot. Which is very convenient for Saffron because otherwise her whole plan would have been shot and been a big waste of time because they would have just gone and dropped her off back on the planet.
Well, she also says that like she really doesn't want to go back and pleads with them about that. So, you know, might have listened either way.
I don't know. I think they would have taken her back.
Well,
honestly.
maybe they had gotten far enough, like, overnight. No, they're on planet, aren't they, overnight? And then they leave in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. I withdraw my...
Yeah, they discovered
Whatever.
it right after they left. Oh, there's another one. Another thing I was thinking about this episode. Oh, so Saffron's kind of like a Harry Mudd / Packlead character.
what?
How so?
Well, because like she's a grifter. Like she goes around like
looking for things,
conning people, and then but at the same time, like she plays dumb the whole. You know, that's where I get the Packlead from.
Packleads are also fairly dumb. Well, it's only partly an act.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting to have the sort of female take on the Harry Mudd character.
Her eventual plan to run them through the barium sweep. That's it's just strange choice to kill them all. Like, why would you want to like get to know the people you're going to murder?
I guess I sort of assumed initially that she was working with the guys at the barium.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
Yeah, I think like she
So
gets paid
she does
by
it, yeah,
them.
right. So she does it because they're paying her for her services to get them more wreckage to like sell off or whatever.
Also, how many?
But then they get dead.
How
instead.
many like ships are going to this backwater that she can pick up one to send there often enough?
Yeah, how long did she have to wait?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she bops around to lots of different planets. And just does it on rotation.
She bop.
Or she was somehow involved in bringing the Firefly to the planet.
Yeah, that's true too. She could have been all the way. It could have been Saffron
Yeah.
all the way
But
down.
how much money could this ship possibly be worth that it's like all of this trouble?
Well, they talk about the Firefly class ship when they're.
Who gets to keep Vera?
That's true. Vera's probably worth more than the ship.
It's my favorite gun.
Oh, wants to give him gun.
That I really do like. It leads to a lot of good scenes. That scene where he's showing off the gun is so funny. Like, I hate Adam Baldwin, but he's so good in the goddamn part.
Yeah.
I have questions.
Yes.
My first question is, when he shoots the gun at the whatever thing that they're hanging out with at the net, why does he like shoot it through a space helmet?
yeah,
There's a
pissed me
throwaway. There's a throwaway line.
Oh, she can't fire without air around the muzzle?
Without oxygen.
Which is really kind of a dumb thing.
I think that's. I read on somewhere that's like debunked, but they stand by it because it looks cool with the.
I mean, it does
in the
look
suit.
cool, but
I guess, but they're just wasting
They can
space
replace
helmets.
They can replace the face shield.
I mean, I guess, but you'd also think they'd have extra catalytic converters hanging
gonna
around
say,
or something.
right. Thing.
Whatever the fuck it is. My other question is, how do they find her?
In the shuttle when she leaves?
Maybe the shuttle has a tracker.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Because I was just kind of like, there's fucking... Even if you only assume, several dozen new Earths, it's still going to be hard to find her. But yeah, that's fair if there's like a homing beacon.
Yeah, we also know that the shuttle, we find this out next week, that the shuttle is short range.
Yeah, there's only
couldn't
so
have
many
gotten
places,
too far
yeah.
with it.
Well, yeah, but like, how far is not too far in space?
And also, like,
and how many planets does that equal?
She could have rendezvoused easily with somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, they get the shuttle back at any rate. So.
Like, say, the people
thank
at
goodness.
It occurs to me, I don't think I ever show this angle in the episode, but just from the proper angle, it, would just look like to a random passerby that Jane had shoved a rifle very far up someone's ass.
A reverse Pulaski maneuver?
Yeah.
Can you taste that, buddy?
Oh no. Oi.
You know what I really liked?
I'll be in
We
my
hear-
bunk.
Yikes. Not that.
What did you say?
I'll be in my bunk.
I'll be on holodeck 7. 4?
I said it earlier.
Holodeck. He uses every holodeck.
More like
so.
holodeck 69, am I right?
Ha
That's the sex number.
joke.
Now, what I really liked is we hear a little bit of Wash's backstory, and it's very nice. Because he lived on this polluted world where he couldn't see the stars, and half the reason he became a pilot was so that he could see what the fuck was up there.
Do you think that was true, or was he just doing that to please the lady?
I want to say a little bit of both.
You think his homeworld is also the world where they juggle the goslings?
No. No, because he says, I once went to a planet where... I think he would have specifically said...
Unless he doesn't want to admit he's from the goose abuse planet.
Okay, but let's be real. It's not the same series, but how often did Tasha Yar mention the rape gangs? If they were fucking juggling goslings on his home planet, you better believe he'd be like, and every fucking week after church or whatever, we'd go and watch them juggle some fucking goslings.
I just picture him there sitting there piloting one handed, the other hand just kind of casually tossing two goslings in the air.
Do they do other things with goslings? Like, is there also... Because I feel like juggling a gosling would kill it. I just don't think that's... I don't think a gosling would survive with juggling.
I also don't think the juggler would survive when the parents came after
Right.
Oh, goslings will eat
If
you.
you've ever interacted with a goose near goslings...
geese are nasty. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's always that one that's on the sentinel duty when the rest are eating.
Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, that's there's always they're always kind of pecking at the ground, but there's one that's just headed straight up on a swivel. I will fuck with you. I love geese. Not enough to get near them because I'm not stupid, but
I also have a fondness for geese as long as they're not actually near me.
I feel like them juggling geese also goes to show you that there's no TV or movies on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have nothing to entertain that.
What is the deal with the popular entertainment? Because it doesn't seem to exist.
Yeah, no.
The popular entertainment seems to be just breaking Mal's balls.
Yeah, and
And writing folk songs about heroes, maybe.
Which we'll learn more about next week. Right?
Yes.
Yeah,
a little bit of foreshadowing.
because they spend so little time in the on the city planets. I wonder if if they had ever gotten around to it, seeing larger shows or televisions or anything like that.
Something I forgot from the last episode from Safe. What we learned about our universe here is that at least in this timeline, Google Wave still exists.
How's that?
Wait, which one's Google Wave?
Google Wave was the kind of short-lived, weird hybrid messaging platform that was kind of like email, but not. It was like a cross between email and Google Docs.
Oh yeah, no one quite knew what it was, which is why
No
it
one
didn't
quite knew what it
last.
was,
And we still don't, apparently.
But but when instead of a message, you sent waves.
Oh, the box that was in... No, that was the last episode. Sorry.
This was the last episode.
Oh yeah, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So they Simon's
the space
dad,
box, the source box.
Simon's
That's
dad
right.
says, "Oh, I got a wave today." And I'm like, "Oh shit, get a wave, bitches!"
You can do that on Facebook, too. That's a Facebook Messenger feature. You can wave at someone. You don't have anything to say.
Well, they didn't mean it like that. It meant I think it was more like
I got an email.
like a ocean wave.
All right, well.
I got a Google Allo today. All right.
How did he do?
Yeah.
Safrone. Yeah.
Very expensive stuff.
What was...
Yeah, you got the red crocus
It
flowers.
did seem like there was some gratuity involved here in the seduction scene because she had the jump on him. She had the jump on him. Like, she was in his bed. He did not know she was there. She could have just shot him or bonked him on the head with something, but, like, so there's something going on where, like, either her or the writers, more likely, were like, yep, we need a naked lady being all sexy-like and saying sultry things.
Have you seen her tits?
And we need to show
Not
all
completely.
but the tip.
Oh, good Bible.
Everything but the business end.
Good Bible is solid. But, like, they have a lot of chemistry together in that scene.
Oh, yeah. No. It's a fine scene. It's just interesting.
I think you'd have to be dead not to have good chemistry with Christina Hendricks.
I mean, that's
in
the thing.
that scene.
Basically, the way the scene had to go was she had to win.
Yes.
So she had to win in a way that doesn't kill Mal.
Yeah.
So if she just had a gun or a knife and got the jump on him, it's like...
Yeah,
But
then we're
here
just
she-
watching Out of Gas again, which is coming up next week.
So it's just one of those things where, like, the story needed to do something. And
Yeah, like they needed to further the Inara and Mal thing.
Oh,
and-
God. That was the worst. What else? Oh, there's something funny about this show I wanted to mention.
Well, the cutscene. The cutscene was the funny part. Did I mention that they cut it?
the special hell. I love the special
Never
hell.
The special hell was pretty good.
I think
People
it's
who
pretty
talk
funny.
at
Oh, so they must have
theater.
had theater, actually,
Well-
because that joke makes sense.
Well, I
Probably
mean,
in the inner worlds, maybe not in the outer worlds.
I
but-
think the closer you get to the inner worlds, it probably goes like playing the fiddle,
Well, they probably got, like-
vaudeville,
yeah, so-
and then movies.
And
like,
then at
as
the
you
top
get
is
more-
juggling.
Well, and women
geese.
dance.
Yeah.
Women
Well, yeah,
dancing.
Where
Where there is saucy puppet
like-
shows.
I can only
Everyone.
imagine that the only form of popular entertainment in this universe is like vaudeville or
like sexy women singing at saloons.
yeah, because it is so Western. Even on like the core planets, they're all wearing like Victorian garb. So I mean,
They might at least have Nickelodeons.
it's you know what it is. Like in Star Trek, everyone is obsessed with 20th century shit.
Yeah.
In Firefly, everyone's obsessed with 19th century shit.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the clothes are awesome.
Festival.
Or early 20th century.
That's what
like
it is. They have festival.
Yeah.
Was that the time where you kill everybody?
Red
Yeah, Red
hour.
Hour.
Red hour.
So, Ames, you wanted to say something?
I did want to say something, and that was the scene that we cut, the one river scene, which is why there's no river in this episode. Thank God. They say first, oh, we have to cut it for time, but then there's also another instance where I read that they cut it because River's psychic ability, which we saw in Safe, and we'll see plenty more of, would have given Saffron away, and they realized, oh wait, we need this to be at least a little bit easy for Saffron to get everything done, and not for her to be outed immediately as a spy of some nature by River.
But like,
Honestly-
why would she steal food and not just eat the food she cooked? I don't really understand.
Part of the act,
Yeah.
I guess. She's probably going to admit it later,
Yeah.
so she could do that whole shtick, but had to.
Oh, she had
move
to
up the
like move it up.
timeline.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it would have kept it in just to show that there is also a limit to River's powers.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't just know everyone's intentions all the time, and
Where fires are.
Yeah.
But that's next week.
yeah, like it could be in Safe. Like that girl wants to communicate with someone because that girl is reaching out. River can do it, but if Saffron is concealing herself, it's not as easy to do it. She could say something like, "There's something off about you," and they're perfect. Totally, like she gets a little bit of that, but fuck it.
I didn't need to know that Mal had a boner.
Always
It makes
need to
me
know.
swell, and I see you have also, or whatever.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That was very like romance novel language.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
saying someone has
sometimes-
swelled. I was like, "Rrrr."
I was like, get ready, chimney sweeper. Like,
His engorged manhood.
Telescoping.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though,
Tell
like,
you.
if she was, quoting some sort of romance literature. 'Cause,
Do they have romance literature then, or
Yeah,
they
of course
just
they
have
do.
Tijuana Bibles? Or
The
whatever?
writers of this episode surely found it there.
But yeah, to assume that as part of her training, her courtesan training, Yeah.
If that's what she did.
Well, that's what
Like,
that's what Inara assumes.
Right.
So I am taking Inara at her word.
When we find her again at the end and she's dressed fairly
spoilers,
close.
Ames.
Oh, sorry everyone. And she's dressed closer to the kind of way that Inara dresses, which is in very pretty, nice, bosom enhancing clothing. Mm-hmm. It's like, was she in a companion at that time when Mal went and found her again?
Yeah.
I mean, she could have been masquerading as a companion, maybe, to get into some rich person's house.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, because, like, if you were a companion and you were already, like, pretty highly thought of in society and probably making decent bank, you wouldn't necessarily need to also grift, unless she just likes the thrill of it.
Maybe she got thrown out of the Companions Guild or whatever for being a thief.
I don't think there'd be a Companions Guild in Skyrim 6.
I feel like it's kind of like, who was the popular artist who recently admitted that, like, when she was a stripper, she used to drug men and take money?
Cardi B.
Yeah, so Saffron's just Cardi B.
There you go.
When you look
And
back
I kind of love that. I mean, I know technically it was a crime, but it's kind of awesome.
when you look back at the train job, when they say, "Look at this heist is so cool. It's going to be on a train. We get to do it like in front of all these Alliance police officers. I'd practically do this heist for free."
Yeah, but those are idiot men. This is a sensible woman.
Zoe was there.
But did she say, like, I would do this heist for free, or did she just do her job?
Both.
Oh, I thought Mal was the one who
Well,
said
Mal
he would
did
do it
say
for
that, but
free.
Zoe's character flaw is never challenging Mal.
Also fair. But yeah, no offense to any idiot men.
Yeah. Watch is
Sorry,
gonna
man.
feel pretty shitty that like Zoe gives him a lot of shit. Like there's definitely an interesting power dynamic in that relationship.
Yeah.
But like the power dynamic between Zoe and Mal is really fucked up.
Alan's
like poor Wash is like, "Hey honey, could you give me some food?" And she's like, "Fuck you, bitch." Mal, let's go get shot together.
I'm looking ahead
I don't know why.
to next week, but I think it would have been funny if Christina Kendricks had kicked Wash so hard in the back of his head that his mustache popped back. But that's next week.
Yeah. Speaking of next week, why don't we start getting into the end of this?
I like that our guests are the ones that always have to, like,
I know.
segue us the fuck
That's
out
what I
of the
was
show.
doing. Justice is picking up on my... You know,
Picking up what you're
I
putting
did a
down.
lateral, and he... Sports metaphor.
Touchdown!
Woo!
Okay.
I do
Sports
touchdown.
ball. All right. Next week, we will be discussing 2 more episodes of Firefly. We'll be starting with Janestown and then speaking on Out of Gas. Thank you for joining us this week for this discussion of Firefly. I have been Caitlin.
I have been Jake.
This has been Chris.
And this has been Ames.
I have been Justice.
I have been Kelly.
So many of us. We actually did pretty well for 6 people at a
Yeah.
table.
We did do good. We were worried, but it worked
We're
out.
pros.
If you like what you heard, please consider subscribing to our podcast. We are on SoundCloud, Apple Music,
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. Sorry, it's the one that I can't remember.
It's the new one.
Are we
Yeah.
also on Stitcher?
I don't think so.
Google Play?
Yes, we are in
Okay.
Google
Not
Play.
Stitcher. Everywhere else.
We should figure that one out. I think you just submit yourself there. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
I
went
think
on
so,
there
too.
and I tried to do it, but I think I needed information that I didn't
Yeah, I
have.
think it's easy. We should do it. Well, by the time this airs, maybe we'll be on Stitcher. Try your luck.
We'll give it a shot. We'll try again.
If you
Try
are
again.
listening to this on Stitcher, let us know.
I'm going to try to get us on Chatterbait.
Okay.
What's
Sounds
that?
What?
awful.
That's a
Is that
pay
like-
people to masturbate in front of them, the website.
Really? Can I get paid for that?
I was just going to say, is someone
Yeah.
going to actually pay me
Oh,
for
it's
that?
not like a chat roulette thing?
No.
Well, chat
Oh.
roulette was the same thing except for free.
Right, I didn't realize it was like a... I thought it was the same basic...
I
I thought it was chat
best
roulette, but they
cam
were-
war.
You should make some
No,
money.
they were
You
going
should be a
specifically
cam
after
war.
in front of them. No, it's like a cam girl site.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought maybe they just decided to
I'm pretty
stop
sure-
lying
yeah.
about... Because I don't know. I didn't know it exists. I've never been.
Chris, you started this.
Yeah, I'm
What is
sorry.
wrong with
Oh
you?
my
I didn't
God.
expect it to snowball.
Usually Jake starts this
Nobody would
bullshit.
ever want to watch a man masturbate.
Disagree. Moving on. You can also find us on Facebook. by searching- I didn't say I wanted to watch you masturbate.
Fair.
All right.
Not since the last time.
Yeah, seriously, I learned my fucking lesson. Who knew you could shoot that far? I was like 10 feet away.
I call it Vera.
Well, you know what it is? He had to put the helmet on top of it because it won't go off without oxygen. All right. You can find us on Facebook. Search for us for A Star to Steer Her By. You can also find us on Twitter and Tumblr, SSHB Podcast. We also have our home on the web at sshbpodcast.com.
If it won't go off without oxygen, why did he ask me to choke him?
Good night, everybody!
Hey, baby, I hear the
Booze are calling, tossed salads and scrambled eggs.
Great style.